Welcome back to the live stream from LEDucation 2024 at the beautiful Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan, Greg.
Sure we are.
It's presented by the DLFNY that's right, the design, what does that stand for? Design Lights Federation of New York? I don't even know.
Designers Lighting Forum.
Well, there you go,
New York.
New York.
That's right.
I don't know what the acronym stands for. Thank you, Billy, for showing up.
I'm here for you. Yeah.
So we want to tell you guys to go down to KeystoneTech.com. That's KeystoneTech.com. Keep it easy, Greg Ehrich.
That's right. So they did make lighting easy. Sometimes lighting was too difficult where it was hard to figure out what you needed, but they make it easy. They give you samples, great customer service, great people, great product.
Amen. Go to KeystoneTech.com. We're here with Billy Hodges. Name the new company.
Illuminations Incorporated.
Illuminations Incorporated. And, of course, one of the managers of AILA?
Yes, co-founder.
Co-founder and manager of the American Association of Independent Lighting Agents.
Well done.
I remember that. AILA.com. AILA.org or AILA.com?
That's right, lightingagents.org.
Lightingagents.org. Check it out.
All right.
Billy, this place is packed, brother.
It is insane. It's one of the greatest shows anywhere. It's been true to its organized by representative roots from the very Designers Lighting Forum. Originally put on LEDucation because LEDs were such a crazy, challenging thing to get a handle on, and to do real lighting with LED was something, I remember thinking, I just want to wake up 5 years from now when all these things work.
Sure.
It was longer than 5 years.
Yes, it was.
Does it work now?
Yes. Most of it works pretty good now, but it's been a long time coming. And so this was all about educating the New York specifier originally around how to use LEDs. And it's great.
I got a theory. I think at this place, these are lighting people that are here, buddy.
Yep.
Like, I don't care where you're a distributor, you're an agent, you're a specifier, you're a designer. This place is packed with lighting people.
Yep.
And it's run by lighting people.
Yep.
So amen to that. How's that?
For sure.
The show by the people for the people.
Right. And we're looking in our aisle over there and watching the people coming through. And I mean, it's North Dakota, it's Minnesota, it's Missouri, it's California, it's Oregon, then it's, back to Maryland. It's crazy. They're from all over the country coming through, and, it's organized in New York by New York, for the New York agents, but people find all of the great products that they want to use and learn about, and the new releases throughout. I think it's 5 halls. So
crazy.
It's crazy.
So what is AILA doing here specifically? You guys had a reception last night?
We had our annual networking events, our 4th event, completing our 3rd year as an organization.
Wow.
And we celebrated the fact, I think we had 75 people there, and it was an opportunity to, I think we had something like 15 agencies represented, something similar in terms of manufacturers, and then our great sponsors also. So.
Now, because you were late, I'm going to invite you to look at the camera right there while you're talking, Billy. Thanks for being on time.
I'm going to keep looking at you guys.
He'll do whatever he wants.
All right.
So, tell me about what an agent is. If somebody wants to be an agent, if somebody's wondering what an agent is, what is a lighting agent?
Well, if I'm talking to somebody who doesn't know anything about our business, I talk to them like they are, like we are brokers. People understand insurance brokers and other kinds of brokers, where we're helping to bring all different types of lighting products to the market, and then in many cases, helping to put together a whole package of materials to deliver to a project. In other cases, like often here in New York, it is very specific which product is being specified, and we're here to help that product get to the project. And so, when you select companies you work with, is it about the product or the people? I know you're going to say both, but for real, come on. Well, what is it? So, it could go either way, right? Yeah. I mean, the people can catch your eye. Yeah. They move there. That may be an opportunity for us to understand better how that company works, how their products work, and how we could incorporate them into what we're doing. But it can go the other way too. Look at that amazing new product. Wouldn't it be great if we could offer that to our customers? And so then you get to know the people afterwards. And has there been anything you've seen? I know it's only 2 hours in that has surprised you or been different? Well, I think so. We represent a company called Interscene. I think it's one of the most interesting sources because it emulates a skylight. And you can actually see the sun move from one fixture to the next with you. and it's all by optics. It's a static fixture. It's based on where you are compared to the fixture, how you see the sun. But if I move over here, it's not in this fixture anymore. It's in this one.
Wow.
So,
You know, it's interesting you said that because I bought 2 fake skylights from a company as well. I'm not going to say their name because they're not a member of NAILed.
sure.
And I don't distribute their products.
Right.
So, but I just loved, they came on the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast, and I just loved their stuff. That, the person back in Toronto, so we have 2 producers on either end. We have a producer here at Hilton Head and one back in Toronto that's distributing this show on all sorts of live streams. He's sitting under one of these skylights right now because his office was so dark and bleak in the back. And I said, you know, I'm going to buy this guy a $5,000 light fixture to put in his office.
Yeah.
And I did. It makes a huge difference, actually. You look in that room from the outside with the door open, you think it's a skylight in the ceiling.
It is, right. Yeah, it's that convincing when you have this kind of technology. And I think we see standards and design professionals working towards environments that make us feel better. And that is happening when you are incorporating the daylight or simulated daylight.
So can I go back to what an agent is versus a distributor versus a dealer?
Sure.
Okay, because I want to sort this out.
Yeah.
So you guys are like marauding thugs in the night.
Sure. Right. It's weird. We were just talking about distributors that way.
We all are.
Yeah.
But no, when you're an agent,
right?
Like, I feel like there's good distributors and bad distributors. I think there's good agents and bad agents.
Any part of the industry has, it's good actors and it's bad actors.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when you're a good agent, are you reducing the amount of lines you're carrying? Are you selecting the lines you're carrying? What are you doing in that end?
Well, you always want to be able to serve your various principal manufacturers, and so it's not necessarily about shrinking or enlarging. It's about having the team within your organization that's right sized for delivering good results for those manufacturers. And so in our case, we have a very large agency and we have a lot of products that we represent, but we also have very specific teams that deal with different aspects of the lighting industry. Mm-hmm. And so when you start to look at it this way, then our teams are like mini agencies within a larger agency. They become very focused for that kind of a vertical. And so
is that product based, or is that like controls versus indoor versus exterior? How do you guys lay all that out?
Yeah, it's a little bit vertical based. It's vertical focused, and there's of course overlap. Some manufacturers have inside fixtures, outside fixtures. Some have controls, some have integrated controls. And so yes, we try and have product experts that can deal with each of the different categories, and then have serve a number of markets rather than just sort of generically handling the whole market. So
one thing I want to ask is so this light fair in the past, I'm going to compare, it's going to be a theme that today is light fair.
Come on.
But let's think about light fair.
We were just in Germany, light build versus light fair versus LEDucation. LEDucation is where it's at, folks. This is hot as hell.
I'm asking from an agent perspective. So light fair, what I heard from a lot of manufacturers, like all it is agents coming up trying to rep our product, is what I heard in the past from light fair. Is that what LEDucation is?
So I think LEDucation has a good educational component. I think one of the things that Light Fair struggled with over the years was that the designers they did have there, the professionals from the design community, often were speaking in seminars, attending seminars, knocking out their CEUs, which left a whole, many of the more commercial professionals in lighting to be working on the floor with the manufacturers. And that's happening here to some extent, but they also have the virtual classes with LEDucation, which I think is great because that allows people to both do the classes and get to see all the manufacturers that have worked so hard to get their products here ready for this, debut. So,
I want to go back to one more thing about the difference between agents, distributors, and dealers, because I think it matters in 2024.
Okay.
In 2014,
Yep.
if you had to come to me and said, I'm an agent, I think I knew what you are.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
I'm a distributor. You have a warehouse with light bulbs in it.
Right.
Right?
Sure.
And now you have agents with warehouses with light bulbs in it, and you have distributors with no warehouses.
Right.
And calling themselves distributors.
Correct.
Does a distributor, in my mind, a distributor stocks product in a warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
An agent and can represent different lines of manufacturers. An agent represents manufacturers on the specification end of the market,
Sure.
and sometimes has a warehouse with light bulbs in it.
Sure.
Is that fair?
So I think what you're exploring here is that there's the identity of the business and the various roles that they may be trying to fulfill in order to increase their business.
Exactly.
Right.
And they're calling themselves an agent, but really they're a distributor. And then there's distributors that are calling themselves a distributor, but they're really an agent.
Sure. I mean, back when I was a regional 20 some years ago, there were opportunities to work with agents who had stocking warehouses, and it was just because it was more convenient, faster shipping, whatever, for those markets that they would offer that service. And as a result, they, had multiple different paths to revenue going on within their building. Yeah.
If an agent has stock, that's owned by the manufacturer.
Okay.
If a distributor has stock, it's owned by the distributor.
Sure. Okay.
Is that a fair line in the sand?
So I don't know that we're going to get to a line, which is that, but I think that it makes some sense the way you're describing in terms of if I want to put more people into a distinct bucket rather than into organizations that have both things going on.
I'm trying to decide if someone's an AILA member or a NAILD member. That's what I'm trying to decide.
Sure.
Right? Because we have so many applications to NAILD now that people that were like, well, you can't join NAILD.
Right.
And they're like, why can't
I see. So
why can't I join NAILD? Well, you don't have light bulbs in a warehouse.
This is the root of your the root of your question is about deciding how to manage membership.
Yes. Yeah. Like it's like you should join AILA.
Sure.
Right? It's like that's what and you should join NALMCO.
Right.
Or whatever, right? And people are like, well, no, we want to join your association. It's like, well, you can't.
Right. 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 So there's no restriction on having a warehouse and being a member of AILA.
There's a restriction in NAILD.
I understand
you
that.
Have to have you have to have a warehouse with light bulbs.
Right. And ultimately, an agent that is factory owned, where the commission checks are going back to a factory, from other manufacturers back to a factory.
Sure.
That's really the main distinction for independent agent, right? And then folks that are direct selling only are obviously not going to be agent members of AILA. You could be a sponsor, but
yes, you can be an associate member of NAILD, but that means you can't sit on the board, you can't vote.
Correct.
On any decisions, right?
Correct.
So for us, people are like, well, why don't you make NAILD as big as possible? And we're like, because we represent independent lighting distributors.
Right. We're servicing a constituency.
Exactly.
Right.
And we don't want to change that because that changes who we are.
Right.
Right. You should be a member of AILA. You should be a member of NALCA.
Right.
You should be a member of IALD. There's lots of places for your home for you to go.
Right.
Yes.
Outside of NAILD.
Outside of NAILD,
right.
Yes. But people get very upset.
Sure. They can't give their money to the organization and have access to everything that NAILD offers.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe how upset people get.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We told Aaron the other day, tell them to join NALMCO.
Right.
They're a contractor.
Understood. Right.
You understand what I mean?
We don't have a lot of contractors knocking on our door, so that makes it easier for us.
We're in between for everybody.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
Well, listen, this place has got a great vibe. You want to plug any websites while you're on the live stream here, Billy?
Well, certainly, now that I've started working with Illuminations Inc. is a place that is for everyone in New York and New Jersey and Philadelphia. And then the lightingagents.org website is the home of the American Association of Independent Lighting Agents. And so thanks very much for having me and having this conversation.
Well, I'm just going to bring one more.
All right,
one more
here we
minute.
go. I thought I was free.
One more minute. You're almost
all right.
out. We just had Avi Moore from More Lights on. He's starting the Lighting Designers podcast.
Okay.
I saw that you have 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Right?
So far, yes.
Right. Get a Grip on Lighting is expert in creating
podcasts. I know.
Yes.
We have to get back. In my transition from having digital filaments to Illuminations, there's been a fair amount of things to focus on, and so I'll be getting back into the podcasting realm.
We want to see it from the agents.
So,
yes. I want to see it. All right, beautiful.
Very good.
Folks, I invite you to go to KeystoneTech.com. That's KeystoneTech.com. If you're listening on LightEd, if you're listening on LEDucation, Get a Grip, NAILD, all the different channels that we're blasting this out on, thank you for listening. Bye for now.